A night of total terror. Night of the Living Dead.
Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new playthrough. This time it's going to be the Night of the Living Dead game by Come On or Simon or however you want to pronounce it. Guillotine Games and Image 10. It's a Zombicide game. Now, I'm a huge fan of Zombicide. I own all of the original products. I've backed the second edition in a big way. And when I saw this come out, I said, "Well, I got to pick this up." And I didn't kickstart it; just picked up the retail box when it came out because I do have all the Zombicide stuff. And this is kind of, I would say, Zombicide light a little bit, not exactly, but it is kind of. So it has some different rules. It's very clever. There's some different things we'll share as we get into the game. But if you don't know how to play Zombicide in general, you can go back through my playthroughs or the many others that are out there to watch. So in this first episode, I'm going to cover the scenario we're going into. I'm not going to go over a ton of the rules for Zombicide, just a few of the rules that are different. And we're going to talk through that, and then we're going to get right to the game. So let's get started with looking at our characters and what they do. Now you can see the board set up ready to go. These cards here, I'll tell you why I put them out there that way, but I did that because it was just easier to keep track of. However, we're going to talk about some of the key differences, and then we're going to get into the game. So let's do that and look at the characters now. So if you've seen either the original black and white version of Night of the Living Dead or the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, you're going to know these characters a little bit. They are from the storyline from the movies, and the scenarios in this basically follow along with the movies. It's pretty cool. And if you ever watched the movies, then you know who Ben is. Ben is the main character, really. Ben and Barbara are the two main characters that are in both of the versions of this movie. And Ben basically he runs up to this house in the gas truck. That's how you get introduced to him. Barbara, you get introduced to her and her brother earlier on when they get attacked at a graveyard. So you got Ben right here. You can see his board, his player board. One of the things I love about Zombicide, as they evolved, they made these player boards that track your experience here, have your weapons and your character cards and all the things and inventory that you need on this cool player mat, plastic player board. Now, one of the main things that's different, as we're going to talk about, are these cards. Now, when you first start, you're going to be playing your character in Romero mode, and that is this side here. Romero mode is not as tough as Zombicide mode. When you go into Zombicide mode, you get tougher. And there's things that are going to take you in and out of those modes. To start, we're all going to be in Romero mode. And you can see here that when we go up levels, we just still get some abilities, but not as good as if we're in Zombicide mode. Because there's Ben in Zombicide mode. You see he's got a lot more capabilities. And that's how that... Now, how do we end up in Zombicide mode? Well, there's a couple ways to do it. In this particular instance, there's a gun. If you pass it around, everybody can get in the Zombicide mode. But before we do that, we have to solve a couple of things because we don't want to end up in and out of Zombicide mode too frequently. The weapons work fundamentally the same. Here's the crowbar. I think the only thing is different is I think it's even still the same with the ability to, like this one can actually break barricades, etc. But you got a knife. It's a 0 range. You're going to roll 1 die. You need a 4+, does 2 damage. So the crowbar can actually beat down zombies, which is kind of nice. There's a crowbar, a tire iron, and a claw hammer, and then these table legs. And this is the table leg right here. Now you know these are starting cards because they have this gray back. And in this scenario, there's something special. Normally we would have a certain weapon called the Winchester out as a starting weapon, but we don't have it in this scenario. It's in the house, and we'll have to gather it. We'll talk about the scenario in a minute. So what does Ben do? Just to give you an idea, Hawkeye, I think it allows you to shoot through barricades. I'll go through them as you go through the game. But that's what Hawkeye does. It allows you to shoot through the barricades even though they're up. +1 action, obviously that is what it is. We get 3 actions a turn, just like in Zombicide, and then we get an extra free ranged action. So we want to have him have a gun for sure. You can see when he's in Zombicide mode, he gets even tougher, right? So hopefully we get in there and we get to play him in Zombicide mode, but not too quickly, because as you go up experience, more and tougher zombies come out. So you want to avoid that if possible. Now I'm going to tell you, I played a lot of Zombicide, and this game might be a bit easy mode. We'll see, because I'm going to play it as it is out of the box. Anyway, the next character we have is Barbara. And again, Barbara is one of the main characters from the movies. She's slippery. That means she can, when she gets that ability, at first she has nothing, except for when she goes into Romero mode, then she gets it earlier, or sorry, into Zombicide mode. But in Romero mode, she has slippery when she gets to the orange level, which means she can move through zombies without being attacked. Now that's kind of more akin to me with the 1990s version of this character, who realized that the zombies were slow, you could probably just walk around them. And she did figure that out. But anyway, hopefully we get her into Zombicide mode soon. She did end up with a table leg. Those were passed out at random. Next up we have Harry. Harry has taunt because he's a jerk, right? But he can taunt things into his space. And if you all remember Harry, he was not a good guy in either of the movies. He was the guy that barricaded and hit themselves into the basement and wouldn't let the people in right away and just caused conflict after conflict after conflict. He was a bad guy. Anyway, he does have the taunt ability, and he started with a table leg as well. And when I show you the setup, this starts off just like the first movie. Well, starts off just like the movie, rather. Okay, and then we got Tom. Tom is, if you remember Tom had Judy. Like in the movie, he was the nephew of the person that lived in the house, and et cetera, et cetera. He gets pretty tough. He's got a cool ability called Shove, which allows him to push zombies out of his way. So I hope we get that one pretty quickly. That one's going to be important. When he goes into Zombicide mode, he gets that right away. So we got to get people into Zombicide mode quickly. That's him. And then down here, we have Helen. Now, Helen is the wife of Harry. You can see what she has here. Now, what's funny about Helen is she wasn't tough in the movies at all. You can see she gets a free search action when she gains a level. That's pretty good. But when she goes into Zombicide mode, she looks like a samurai. It's pretty cool. I'll take it. But anyway, hopefully we get her into that mode and get her playing there. She has the tire iron. It basically is similar to the crowbar, except it doesn't do 2 points of damage. The only person that can kill the fatties in this game, and if you remember Zombicide rules, I'm not going over the Zombicide rules, is the crowbar. That's Ben. Last but not least, we have Judy. Judy is Tom's girlfriend in the movies, and she was a whiny creature, I think, in both of them. But it was funny, I was watching the remake, and she would scream constantly but continue to do things she needed to do, so good for her, even though she was terrified. Now, she has a sniper ability, which means we want to give her a firearm at some point, too, if we can get a hold of them, and see how that goes. So hopefully that works out pretty well. And then, of course, in Zombicide mode, she gets a lot tougher with the sniper at first level, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. So hopefully we get them to the point where they're in Zombicide mode and able to take more actions, but they don't start out that way. Now, going back to the board, you might recognize this house. This is the house that the movie took place in, and this is where the scenario starts. And the mission that we have to do in this scenario, and I'm going to get the name of the scenario. I don't remember what the name is, but it has a name. It is called, let's see, I think it's just called, nope, one more, I got to go one more. Let's get to the right scenario. What's happening? So that's the name of the scenario. Now, there's some flavor text right up at the bottom line is if you watch the movies, you know that the characters of Ben and Barbara came to the house after, and the rest of them, Harry, Helen, Tom, and Judy, were in the basement, and that's what you see here. Now, there is a couple of things that are very interesting and different in this rules. Instead of having abominations, we have relatives, and this is the daughter of Harry and Helen. I can't recall her name at the top of my mind, but when she comes out, we'll see it. Now, remember, in the movie, well, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but she's a little zombie relative child. When she comes out, if you're in, well, all the characters are in Zombicide mode. They all go back to Romero mode until she is removed from the board, so that is always a priority. There's also another relative, which is Barbara's brother, so that's going to make for some interesting times. And there's a different kind of zombie. So, you know, we had walkers, fatties, and runners in the original Zombicide game, but in this version of it, we have breakers. Now, breakers can move and get through barricades, and closed doors and that sort of thing, where others, well, barricades, and other zombies can't do that. So you still have the fatties and the walkers, and they're not slow. The fatties are just tougher. I mean, they're not fast like the runners. The runners would move 2 spaces. They're really dangerous, especially when you had the core sets without extra miniatures, because they'd reactivate a lot, and that was bad. And so that's one of the major differences right there. A lot of the key core rules of Zombicide are the same. One other thing that's different is this gray token is the one that always marks where you start placing zombies, because in the original you just pick where you start and you always use the same pattern, but sometimes you'd forget, all that kind of crazy stuff. Now there's two piles of weapons. There are melee weapons and firearms, and the reason I put them in the room is because that's the locations you can get them out of, and I did that mainly to keep reminding myself. Now, we can't get them until we're in Zombicide mode. The other problem is we got to get to this door and open it in the hallway cupboard and get this woman, this dead body out of there. And we want to do it before we go into zombie mode, because if we don't, we're going to go back into Romero mode after we pull her out. The Winchester is right here in that room, so we got to go over and grab that. But one of the interesting things about the Winchester is once we have it, there's a special part of the scenario where if we pass it around, whoever passes it off to somebody else in trust and good faith goes into Zombicide mode. So we can quickly get everybody into Zombicide mode that way and toughen them up. And then over here, it's the same scenario. This is where the melee weapons are, but we can't get them until we're in the Zombicide mode. Right? And there are other cards too. There's normal house cards right here. These are the search cards, unlike the original game where you're searching for weapons and melee and ranged weapons and household other items. In the search deck, this search deck is just household items. And some of them are useful. They do some good things for us, like give us barricades and stuff. So, another way we can get barricades is we have these open rooms here, and when we collect these tokens, we can turn them into barricades. And that gives us the wood for the barricades that we need. And I think it's a free action to do that. I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure it is. So anyway, we'll be searching the rooms a lot. We'll be doing a lot of that sort of thing. And then there's also some special weapons that we have in play that will get going as well. Now, in this first scenario, we don't start with any zombies on the board. I don't know about the other ones. I haven't read ahead. I'm playing it like a story. But as we begin the game, Ben and Barbara have made it to the front door of the house, and they're about to enter. Now, in the game, you are always playing all 6 characters. So if there's 2 of you, you're going to play 3 characters each. If there's 3 of you, you're going to play 2 characters each. And since I'm playing it solo, there will be 6 characters for me to manage. Not that big a deal because the game itself is relatively simple. Just making sure everything's lined up for me there. And we're going to get started right now. Another thing, and I don't know if it's specific to the scenario, I'll have to look ahead, but in this game, you also don't spawn zombies when you open a door. Like in Zombicide, whenever you open a door you didn't know what was inside, you'd spawn a bunch of zombies, but in this case, you do not. So we're just going to get into the front of the house right now. So the first thing we're going to do is Ben's going to go first, and I'm just trying to make sure I got the right scenario ready to go for myself so we can get this done. This scenario is called, where is it? I'm not sure what, okay, I'm still the rules. The scenario book is laid out pretty well, but anyway, I'm going to read this story to you right here so you can hear what's going to happen. It says, Ben was attacked by an army of ghouls, and by the way, they call them ghouls instead of zombies, but that's okay, at Beekman's Diner and barely escaped inside a car. However, its tank is running empty. He managed to pull up onto a gas pump only to realize that it is locked. Staying calm, Ben notices a house nearby and decides to enter it, hoping to find the key to the pump. Ben finds Barbara, still in shock from all the horror befalling her. A nasty surprise awaits both of them on the second floor as the house owner met a grisly doom. Doom, 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 doom. That's the woman that we're going to have to pull out of the stairwell there. Not long after, Harry, Helen, Judy, and Tom burst out of the basement, and a short argument ensues over the best course of action to adopt. Everyone agrees, somewhat reluctantly, to barricade the house from the ghouls outside. And that's the story that we're going to do there, and there are some special rules. So we did do the setup already, and here's some, I talked through some of them, but I'm going to read them real quick. Trusting each other, any survivor giving the Winchester 94 starting equipment to another survivor with the reorganized trade action may switch to Zombicide mode. Equipment stashes. The melee and ranged equipment stashes can only be searched in designated areas and only while in zombie mode. The Corpse Lady, the first time a survivor reaches the stairs zone on tile R3, you can see her on the map in the middle there. All survivors in zombie mode shift to Romero mode, so we definitely want to get her out of there before we do that. The survivor standing in the zone has to spend 2 actions to remove the corpse. Until then, the zone beyond cannot be searched. And then makeshift barricades. Open barricade tokens represent open passages. I told you that we can pick those up and turn them into barricades. It says that we can do it as a free action, but we don't get experience until we place the barricade. And placing a barricade gives us 5 experience, kind of like similar to some of the actions in the original game where you're picking up objectives and that sort of thing. So we're going to start with Ben. He's got 3 actions, and for the first of his actions, he is going to open the door. And then for his second action, he's going to move in. So now, this is a little risky because there's a chance you could pull a zombie, but for his third action, he's going to search the room. See what he gets. Like I told you. Oh, in the blue range, it's nothing. Otherwise, it was going to be a relative. It would be Johnny. No, Johnny, somebody help me, because Johnny would have come out. But he didn't. That's a good thing. So that was his search card. Unfortunately, nothing good happened there. And that is his whole turn. He doesn't get to do anything else. So we're going to go on to Barbara next. And we do have a first player turn token, and Ben has it right now. We'll move it from player to player as we go just to mix it up. I also thought about an alternative rule which might be interesting, and that's not allowing you to go into Zombicide mode. So you're always playing in a tougher mode. That might increase the difficulty level. Anyway, Barbara is going to move here for 1. She will close the door for 2, and then she will search for her third action. Well, maybe. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I think I need to shuffle these. Let me do that because I pulled the relatives again. I don't want to waste those. That wouldn't be cool. I'm going to shuffle them up. I thought I shuffled them, but maybe not good enough. So just a sec. Okay, let's try that again. I just wanted to make sure they were shuffled. So we get, oh, you know what? This did not happen. Guys, I'm sorry. These decks are new to me, and this is actually the zombie deck. So, well, I got the zombie deck well shuffled up. So we're going to go back to Ben real quick. I'm going to put her back outside and open the door just to do this right. I'm sorry. I'll probably edit that out. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, maybe I'll just show it to you. That's kind of funny that I did that. No wonder I was having a problem. Okay. Anyway, here is the stuff. Okay, he gets boards. So what happens with this is this goes into his inventory, and it's really nicely slotted. If you know the Zombicide game, you can see that right there. And so he's got some boards. Now he can automatically, for free, turn those into barricades. Now, he's not going to worry about that right now. So now Barbara comes in. She moves in there, opens door, and moves in, closes the door. Or actually, it was open, so she moves in and closes the door and then searches. Let's do the search deck again. Okay, now this is the problem. Set a relative in the zone and then discard this card. So luckily we got a lot of players to go, but we have already encountered Karen, poor baby. She is right here with them. And good thing we're not in Zombicide mode, because then we would go back to Romero mode. So Barbara starts screaming as a little zombie girl comes walking out of the room. Well, there you have it. Now we're going to go on to Tom. Now Tom, for his first action, we're going to see some action right away. His first action, he's going to go here. He'll move into here. That's 2 for him. And then he's going to swing the table leg at Karen and see if he can take down the first of the relatives very quickly. And he does with a 4. Now, why do I know that? Because as you can see, it's a melee attack, meaning you have to be in the same zone. Now, this is all one zone, so we're okay there. And I know that because the walls. Now, if you played Zombicide, you know how to tell the zones. The only thing that's a little different is the outside is broken up into smaller squares. Kind of reminds me of another zombie game. Anyway, we roll 1 die. We need a 4+, and we do 1 damage, and that's what we did. So that was what Tom did. He stepped out, smacked her, and how do I know that kills her? Well, because of this chart, just like in Zombicide, it shows you the walkers, relatives, and breakers all have 1 action and 1 damage to kill, and then they gain 1 experience point. So the first experience point goes to Tom. So we take little Karen off the board. He comes there and clubs her. So I'm surprised that, well, it's a good thing that Harry didn't see it, because he probably would have tried to attack Tom at that point. So Tom gets an experience. He is the first one. He is at 1 point. That was all his actions, because he opened the door, moved, and attacked. So next up, coming out of the door, is Judy. Now, Judy's going to do something different, because we can't all congregate in this room. That wouldn't be very good for us. So Judy is going to move 1 out the door. That's 1 action. Puts her right here. For second action, she is going to pick up these boards. They're straddling these 2 spaces right there. So you can pick it up from either space right there. That is Judy. And I'm just going to put that with her stuff. And then she's going to move into this hallway. She's heading to go deal with the corpse. and that is going to be her turn. So she moved through, picked up some boards to barricade. Because remember the objective, which I didn't share with you, the objective is we have to barricade all the open windows. Bad news, man. There's going to be a lot of zombies coming, and we haven't barricaded anything yet. So let's go next to Harry. So Harry, let's see, he will move one here. He's going to search as a second action, so we don't have to deal with a zombie. He got some boards. He'll take those. That's his second action. For his third action, he's going to... he could... Let's see, he can switch these. Let's start the barricading. Let's switch this out for a barricade. He can do that. That's going to give him one of these for free. Now, it says in this scenario, I don't know if it's true of every scenario, we'll have to see, but it says in this scenario that he can do that. It says makeshift barricades, open barricades, survivors may carry more than one barricade token at a time. They do not take up space in inventory. That's pretty good. But we can turn it into a barricade, but we can't. We have to use an action to place it. So he moved out, he searched, and for his third action, he's going to place the barricade, and that gives Harry 5 experience points. I'll just put him up to 5. We'll show that in a minute. So we got one barricade up finally. That's it. Now remember, the breakers can't get through the barricade. Anyway, he'll put it there. Actually, you know what? We're going to put it over here instead, because that will block some of the zombies from coming in from the kitchen, which they're very likely to do. And hopefully we get just as lucky with Helen. It's going to come out right now. So that's it for Harry. He moves out, does that. In her turn, she's going to move 1 here for that. Second action, she'll pick this up with the boards. And her third action, she's going to barricade this window 2. Now we have that room at least semi-sealed off. Zombies won't be coming in right away. Helpful. Ben still has some boards, so he can start boarding up this side as well. Well, maybe I'll just take it one room at a time and move from room to room and kind of block it off. But then I'm worried the breakers are going to come in and take that out. Okay, well, so that ends the players' actions. That's all 6 players have gone now. And now we're going to move to the zombie's turn. Now, how does the zombie turn work? It's actually very simple. That deck that I was mistakenly trying to draw items from is going to be right here. And I'll just keep giving it a little shuffle. Okay, and then from this point on, we're going to draw, and we're going to place zombies at the 3 different places where zombies will spawn. There's a spawn point here, up here, and over here. So let's see what we get. Relatives, really, right away? Okay. Oh, nothing, because we're still on the blue level. So that did not happen. And you saw me shuffle this. Oh, gosh. Okay, I keep shuffling it. I don't know how many relative cards there are in there, but I'm going to keep shuffling it until we get some normal cards. That is ridiculous. I don't think there's that many, so I'm doing something weird with the shuffling. Okay, let's see now. I just want to make it more interesting. Okay, so here on the level, we're going to get 1 walker up at the top. It's that old dude that came out of the graveyard. Anyway, he comes out. That means we're going to take a walker. In fact, there's a miniature specifically for him. Let me find it. Yeah, here he is. There he is right there. And he's going to be way up here at the top. Oh, he's shambling on in there. And then we have 1 more zone over on this side. Let's see what we get. Another 3 walkers this time. That's not good. We'll mix them up because there's a couple different miniatures. Here's another walker mini. Place that right here on the porch. They're coming at the porch. We have a guy. There's a guy here in a hospital gown with the backside open, like you saw in the movie, if you recall. He's going to come in here as well, and then we'll make the third one a woman zombie shambling on in her house dress. Okay, there we go. That is the zombies coming out right there. Now, another interesting thing as we go through this game, when we do switch into Zombicide mode, we actually have a different miniature. So, for example, there's Ben's tougher-looking Zombicide side miniature. Anyway, that is the full round. So remember, normally you move first, then you spawn. So it's the same rules as Zombicide. So if there is a zombie on the board already, it's going to move, and they're going to spend their one action. And if it's a breaker, they're going to try and open a door. If it's a normal ghoul, sorry, I'm calling them zombies, but they call them ghouls. They're going to move. Now, if they're already in a space with someone, they don't have to move. Their action is going to be to attack. Okay, and there's movement rules about how these guys move. We'll get into that in a minute. I think I'll do 1 more turn for y'all, and then we'll call it an episode. And also, let me know if you like it. I mean, like the game. This is, again, Night of the Living Dead Zombicide style, so it's got some differences to it, but it's pretty cool in my book. I do like Zombicide. So now we're going to take the first player token, we're going to give it to Barbara. That's how I'm going to play this out. So everybody's getting a turn. So Barbara's going to go. Barbara is the yellow base, matching her tokens right there. She is right here. She has a table leg, not much more. There's no zombies really threatening them. So, let's see. There are going to be zombies coming in this way, so that could be really bad. I think she is first going to search. Maybe she'll get some wood. No, she got, flammable fluid. Okay. Discard along with a mason jar. The survivor receives a Molotov, may be used in the backpack. So we're going to put that in the backpack, but I think this also allows you, there's a special thing on this. If you have flammable fluid, you may discard this card to get the torch. We're going to do that. It's a free action. Doesn't take anything. So we're going to get the torch. The torch is a special item, so I'm going to get rid of that. And here are the special items. We don't shuffle these. We just look through, and there's Molotovs, Winchester with the scope, and here is a torch. Now what's cool about this is it rolls 2 dice now. It only needs a 3+, and it does 2 damage. So Barbara, for her first action, did really, really well there. And I think she's going to head off to be prepared to fight some zombies. So she upgraded the torch. That was a free action, if I understand it right. It just says you may discard. And then she is going to, for her second action, she will move here. And for her third action, what will she do? She cannot search again. So she's going to take up this wood here to be able to barricade the one of these windows. These zombies are going to come in this turn, so she's going to need some help. And I think that's going to be okay. All right, so that was Barbara. Barbara does have the flammable fluid. I should have passed that off to Tommy or Tom, but I think it's going to be okay. He's going to come in the room with her. All right, so let's go to Tom now. Tom is right here. His first thing to do is he is also going to search. He got plenty of bullets, but we don't have a gun yet, so that's okay. He will then move into here, do a trade action with... Actually, he'll do a trade action and trade the table leg for the torch with her. That's his, it's going to be 1, 2, that'll be his third action. And then she will use this again to light up her table leg. So now we have 2 torches. That's pretty cool. Whoosh, all right. We don't need no Zombicide mode. We got flaming table legs. Okay, that was Tom's turn. So Judy, now Judy's up here for her first action. Yeah, she's going to open this door. She can do that and then reveal the stairs to the attic, I believe it is. And then for her next, that was her first action. For her second and third action, she will remove this corpse that is now off the table as part of the scenario. But she's going to be facing a zombie pretty soon. And she does have a barricade, but she used all her actions, so she can't do anything in that hallway. Doesn't have any space for a barricade. That's Judy. Now we're going to go to Harry. Harry also has a table leg, so I think for his first action, where's Harry? He's right here. He's going to search for his first action. Uh-oh. Karen, another Karen. Karen is standing back up again. Well, that was her first action, so she's right here. That's no good. For his second action, I guess he's going to take the table leg and clock her with it because he's one of the last 2 characters to go. He needs a 4 and it does 1 damage. So he's going to use his second action to hit poor Karen, his daughter. He does bop her on the head and take her out. That puts him up to 6 rather. He's now got 6 experience. He's about to go, just to show you. He's about to go into yellow mode. We don't want that. Even though he'll get his special ability, they all will. We don't want that to happen though, not yet. So for his next action, he will go here. Oh wait, did I place a barricade? I did. I placed 2 barricades. Who did them? He did one, and I think Ben. No, did Ben do the other? Who did the other barricade when they came in the room? I think it was Tom. It was Tom, wasn't it? Because Judy ran out. Harry did the first barricade. Ben did not do a barricade. He searched and did some other things. He hasn't gone yet this turn. So it was Tom. So I'm supposed to have Tom at, he already had an experience point as well. So he's at 6 too. So we're about to pop into yellow already, even though we don't want to. We're going to finish off Harry's actions. So he searched. His poor daughter came back as a zombie again. He clubbed her over the head for his second action. And for his third action, he moved into this room because we're preparing for a bit of a zombie fight there. We've got to board this place up. All right, and that is going to be all of his actions. So last but not, well, we have Helen to go next and then Ben. So Helen is right here. I think for her first action, she too will search. She got plenty of bullets, really not helpful at all. And then what's she going to do? Because we're running out of things. So 1, she will move here for 2. 3, she will pick up these barricades. Now she's going to have to fight a zombie off there too, but we got to get moving. So she picked that up so we can start to barricade that room in front of the zone there. Okay, last but not least, we have Ben. Ben is going to, he's here, and he's going to, of course, search, and he got planks. So he's going to turn both of these as a free action into barricades. So we have 2 more barricades. Here we go. And he's going to take, so that was his first action was to search. His second action is going to be to barricade this up right there. That will give him 5 experience points, so he's now at 5. That's pretty, we're all going to go up too quickly, I think. And then he is going to, because these guys are going to move, like if he moves here, they'll move this, no, they'll move this way because there's more characters here. Yeah, so they are going to be able to come in this window. I think, though, he will move here for this action, or for this turn, and start to help there, because we are going to have a zombie in that room. These ones are going to have to, anything that spawns here is going to have to start moving, and they won't be able to do it right away. Okay, that's it. That's all the players' turns again. So I'm going to go to the zombies' turn, and we're going to then pass the player marker and end it right there. So first off, we're going to move some zombies. This guy here, he's going to clamber through this window and start coming after Ben and Helen right there. And then we have the real mess here. These 3 are coming through. Wait, was that, let me look at the map. Was that supposed to be a closed door right there or open window? I'm going to look just to be sure. I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, let's see. Scenario 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the map for scenario 1. That's wide open. Needs to be barricaded up. So these guys just come waltzing right in here. They come clambering over this window from that porch there and get into the side room. There are 2 windows here, right here and right here. That's just an open door, I guess. But either way, that's what happens. So that's all the zombie movement. Now you can see we got some trouble brewing, but we're going to start to spawn some more zombies. What do we get? We get a breaker at the door. That sucks because the breakers, we get 1 breaker because we're still in that mode. This is a breaker with the got the brick. If you remember him from the movie, he appears right here at the front zone, ready to come in through those barricades and the doors. So he's going to break through something if we don't stop it. Kind of sucks. I don't think we're going to be able to. Then we're going to draw again, and we get 1 walker up north. Keep the deck steady right there. 1 walker. We'll pick 1 at random. Just this guy here coming through up at the top, and then over here on this side we're going to have barricade and door opening on every zone with breakers. Okay, actually at this level nothing happens. So we're still at the blue level. We kept it at bay. We didn't go into the next level yet. So this breaker would have broken in through the door, but he didn't. So we're lucky there. Whew, okay. Now, if he does break through the door, it goes in there. We can he just pops open the door. But I think I'll read on the rules just to make sure he might go through one of the barricades. I think he'd make that a priority just for the game's purposes. So that is it. We spawned everything right now. It's not too bad so far. I feel pretty good. We're spreading out. We're getting things done. We got to kill these zombies in here and move in and get the Winchester and start to get people into Zombicide mode so we can get the cooler items and all that good stuff. We got to get that done. But so far that's it. So we're going to end it right here. We're going to end by passing the first player marker over to Tom. I think I did everything right there. I'm still trying to remember the rules are slightly different. So it's a little, I have to tweak that in my head, but I think we're doing all right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying our playthrough of Night of the Living Dead. This is the first scenario that basically reflects the movie, as do the other scenarios, I imagine. And this is the first part of that where we have to barricade. We decide to barricade up the house and protect ourselves from the ghouls. I'm going to call them zombies because that's what they are to me, but they call them ghouls in the game coming on in. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.